Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Bitcoin report for Friday, September 10, and we can't rule this count out. That's all I sort of really need to say about this. And if this was the case, then this would be wave 1 down here, and we're moving back for wave 2 at this point. So yeah, I just got to put it out there. Okay, I'm going to look at the bullish count. So with the bullish count, we're looking at it as, well, we can look at it in two ways, as I've mentioned. We can look at it as wave 4 being in here, or we can look at it as wave 4 being in here as well. And we can take a look at that. But in a nutshell, we'd be looking at a wave A, B, and C wave down here for wave 2. And so the other way to count this with wave 4 over here, it's a little bit odd, but I think it's worth including. So having wave 4 here, and it's important to have, I feel that that should be where wave 4 is, because when you look at THETA, the USDT, and a lot of the other altcoins and so on, they're from this point. So it's possible to count this as wave 1 here and 2 here, and then wave 3 here and 4 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. Now, as I mentioned, the first thing that we think about is that, well, Pete, wave 3 looks a bit short here compared to wave 1 in this case. So they're about the same size, pretty much exactly the same size, just depending on what platform that you look at. And in fact, this wave 3 here can be a tad taller on some of them. So even though this one's got more sort of form to it, it's not longer than wave 3 in terms of ratio, in terms of price here. So it's possible to have this. Not that it's a big deal. So where we're working at the moment is we've been looking at, well, this move to the downside here, and we've been looking at it, as you may know, as a bit of an ABC coming back to, well, the 50-60% retracement level, which is just down below the 50,000. So if it hits the 50,000, if it gets that high, then it's not a big deal, because numbers, the psychology of the markets like to think of numbers, but it may only get to 48. I mean, 8's a profit-taking number, and it carries a fair bit of weight. So on the hourly chart, so an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave back to 40,000 here. In this case here, we've got a good case for 5 waves down here, where Ethereum is a little bit different, and we're going to have a bit of a look at that at the end of this video. So in this case, just the 1 hour chart here, just as I was mentioning, it's taken a little while, you know, since I've been talking about this here. It's just been a little bit sluggish. This is a little bit like when gold had its low as well, you know, when it spiked lower some time back, and it had the same sort of movements here. It's kind of gathering a little, you know, it's struggling. I can, you know, we can see that, but it is making a bit of an effort, and in terms of the levels, well, we've got support on top of group 1. We always get a bounce off 3. We've got 5, the next level up. It's got nice support. It's been banging its head against group 2 here, the 46,500, the 65 number, as I call it, and we know that that's important because we've talked about it so much, you know, coming up to 50,000 and so on. So 65, 72, and 80, this is all a group 2 here, and you can see that that's all working just fine. And the next step here, as I mentioned yesterday, would be to develop support on this 46,500, and in a way that's what it's doing. It's kind of got the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and doing whatever it's doing here. We'll take a closer look on the tick chart for this, and then moving up. So yeah, look, it's a bit, the whole count's a bit raggedy in here, but we'll go to the tick chart and just take a closer look at that. So maybe 10's enough. Yeah, so I don't need to count down here. We've already done all of that, but that's important that we've got wave A here, then an A and a B, and a nice little 5 waves here for wave C. So all of that's kind of nice and perfect, and because we've got this as an A and a B and a C as a corrective wave, well, then we should be taking out this top here, or at least having 5 waves up here. I mean, this is where it gets a bit raggedy here. So I'm not that sure about the count here. Obviously, we've got overlapping wave structures here. How best to count this? I've just got it as adjusted it for wave 1 here, an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, but I'm not that happy with that either. I'm open to suggestions. I haven't had time to ponder it, just been a tad busy. We do seem to have 5 waves up here though, so that's something, and then we've got this ABC back here. So if we were looking at this low here roughly and this little high here, then we're sitting quite comfortably where we should be sitting on that 50-60% retracement level, but really we wouldn't want to take that low out there because that wouldn't be a good look. So yeah, that support, developing support back on that 6,500 is critical for any further upside. So if we, and this is a bit of a long shot with 1 and 2 here and 3 and 4 here, and yes, it's overlapping, I can see that, but like I say, I'm open to suggestions and I haven't had time to ponder it. So we'd be looking for, if all goes well, a little move up here in 5 waves. So let's just see how that goes. And as I mentioned yesterday, if you're going to exit this market, then this would be the place here. Well, what you could do is you could also, there's many roads to Rome, of course, and all I'm doing is just giving ideas, not financial advice. But if the market comes up here, right, and then you think it's going to go further, but you're thinking, oh, should I get out? Or, should I do this or do that? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. But if it's up here, and then it comes back down and finds group 2 here as the resistance, so 72 as resistance would be the first flag that comes up, and definitely the 46,500. So we would see it come down through here and then find that resistance, that first low below the level would, and at that point, that's where you'd need to get out at that point, because we'd be going on a journey at that point. So if we look back to maybe the 4-hour chart. So let's just imagine, it's struggling here and it may not get up there, but let's just say that that it does get up there and then comes back and finds that 46,500, wherever that is, 46,500 there as the resistance. Then because we've got 5 waves here, then it's highly likely we're going to get another 5 over here, so you're going to end up down here. And then, if we're down here, then you've got to kind of scratch your head and think, well, does that other count that Pete sort of point out, can that come into play, Don't forget, there's still a good case for this being the top there as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, and then an A wave, a B wave, and we can fit 5 waves in here. So there's a good case for that. So we may just come down to the 40,000 and move up from that point, but we may not. We may be, because all of Bitcoin's retracements have been quite deep. This is pretty a shallow retracement for Bitcoin. So yeah, I don't have the answer for that, but all you can do at the end of the day is take the next logical step. Anyway, I was going to have a look at Ethereum. Now, this is our analyst Kitty Pond, who does the altcoin. So it doesn't have the same top as Bitcoin. It's got, so we can count it down as 1 and 2 here, and then all the way down to 3 here. So coming back to wave 4 here on this trend line here, and then wave 5 down here is a really good call. But what happens if Bitcoin goes back up to that retracement level to the 49,000? Then this is going to drift a little bit quite higher through here. So I just want to show something a little bit different here. It may not be the case, but wave 1 here, 2 here, and 3 here. And if you think about it for a moment, and this has just been oversold here, and you just cut that off here, then you've got a nice ABC with wave 3 here, and ABC for wave 4, and down for wave 5 here, and then the A wave here, the B wave here. So if you're thinking, just because this is just for safety, if this B wave comes down to the 61.8% and then moves up here, then that wave 4 hasn't moved down here further. So all I'm saying here is that we just need to be a little bit careful if you're shorting. So if you're looking at, that's the 61.8%, so you would want to see that as a classic trading levels pattern. So if that's the 61.8% mark there, you'd want to see the market come down through it, have that reference point low. It can come back up above the level, and then you need to rework it on this side, or you may get lucky and it will just come straight through, come back, and then drop at that point. But these reference point lows here are where you're going to short it if you're looking at shorting at that point. So the 34 as a retested resistance would be the trigger to short it at that point in time. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.